This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. If you're interested in these products, check the links in the description. Food coloring. In this video, we're talking about 3 types of food coloring that are commonly available and why you might want to invest in one type versus the other, or as we do, all 3. They have different uses and different pluses, minuses, and drawbacks. So first one would be gel colors, or kind of liquid gel colors as they're commonly called. You can see available in a nice variety of shades. They're intense and also a little thicker. So if you're doing things like buttercreams and you really want to make intense shades, this is usually what I go for, especially if it's a product that can't be over mixed, right? Because it's a little thicker, you're going to add less moisture to the product when you're adding the coloring, which means you're going to have less chance of thinning it out too much. So if I want to make an intensely colored fondant, this is kind of where I'm going. Or if I want to make a nice, bright, vibrant buttercream, especially a dark shade like navy, black, a deep red, these are a good option. They color a lot of different things really well. We use them for coloring things like macaron, cake batters, buttercreams, royal icing, gum paste, fondant, you kind of name it. They're kind of an all-purpose one. So if you're just looking to do a lot of different baking projects, those are always a great investment. There are just the liquid food colorings. These are a nice step up from the kind of liquid colorings that you might be able to buy at your local store, whereas the colors in these are much more intense, although they're still quite fluid. So these are things that are incorporating much easier into your products. So especially if you're doing things like a lot of colored cake bases and you want a color that distributes really quickly into the product without risking over mixing it, this is nice. And as you can see, we've also used it to make a really nice, vibrant, medium tone buttercream, and it did that really well without adding too much moisture. So I will say for liquid colors, these ones are really, really intense on the actual coloring, even though they're still very fluid, which is nice. So I can use them in a lot of things, but I might be a little hesitant to try and use them to make really dark versions of buttercreams or fondants or things like that, where I probably have to add too much coloring and run into a little trouble. The last type that you might see that people probably don't buy as frequently, but is really important to buy if you're doing a certain kind of work, are the oil-based colors. These are made for making candy. They're going to incorporate into things like hard candy really well without promoting crystallization or making your products cloudy. So they have pretty specific uses and can also be used in things like chocolate without causing it to seize. So if you do a lot of stuff like cake pops and you want to make unusual colors beyond what like the standard little pastilles that are available and you want to make some different varieties, these can be a great investment. If you're doing things like high-fat buttercreams, so either a Swiss or an Italian meringue, where the proportion of butter to sugar is much different than, say, a simple or American style, you might have trouble coloring those high-fat buttercreams with the other kinds of food colorings. And buying the oil-based candy colors will allow that coloring to mix in with those higher-fat buttercreams. So these can also be a useful tool to have on hand if you're doing a lot of work with different types of buttercreams in your projects. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecoratingschool.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.